We begin our practice this morning with mindfulness. We've been on a journey together, exploring the different ways in which we can be mindful about this present moment experience, starting with the breath, moving through the body, exploring consciousness itself, some of the hindrances that we come up against in the mind, and see what you are coming to your practice with this morning. There are a lot of words that can potentially describe your present moment experience. Words are really helpful because they give shape to this experience, but try not to be limited by the words. And these are interesting practices in that we have thousands of books, millions of words, probably more than that have been accumulated for thousands of years, from the oral tradition to the written tradition to the continuing real life practice. And it can get complicated really fast. But what we're looking to do, quite simply, is wake up to what is here in this moment. Words might be helpful, map might be helpful. Don't let them get in the way of the actual moment-to-moment experience. As with any skill, over time, it becomes easier and easier to dip into the present moment. Our final contemplation in this bucket of our practice, contemplations of consciousness, free mind and bound mind, a little reminder of where we've come from. The mind with and without lust, the mind with and without aversion, the mind with and without delusion, cramped mind, scattered mind, developed mind and undeveloped mind, surpassable and unsurpassable mind. Last week, concentrated and unconcentrated mind. We were playing around with Mala last week. Today, free and bound mind. Free and bound mind. This is a mind, when free, is open, expansive, abundant. Liberated is a word that I really like. We've been exploring a lot of the ways in which our mind can become small, constricted, or in the Sutta, the word bound is used. This is a mind state stricken with ego, attachment, clinging. And these are the qualities of mind that lead to dukkha, suffering. You can even think of dukkha beyond the most common translation, suffering. It's one that is dissatisfied. Suffering can come from both negative and positive experiences. If it is in clinging, if it is in attachment, if it is in ego, those are the conditions that keep the mind small, the conditions of karma, cultural conditioning, societal conditioning, even in how we talk to ourselves. So, for our practice today, time and space to consider where the mind might fall in the spectrum of liberation. Free mind and bound mind. As thoughts arrive, as they inevitably will, as sensations arise, sustain, fall away, a little invitation to check in with whether this is clinging, whether this is ego, maybe even checking in with what you may be avoiding in your practice. In these first few moments of our practice, you might be able to reflect on what keeps coming up. Is it a certain thought pattern? Is it a certain craving? Is it a certain delusion? Is it a sensation in the body that is causing pain? Distraction? Unconcentrated mind? And you can simply ask yourself the question, without judgment if possible, is this habit or pattern keeping my mind small, bound? Is there something in here that is preventing more abundance, freedom, and spaciousness? Try not to be critical of what comes up. We're simply developing a new opportunity, a different skill set to approach how we show up. It can be hard in the beginning. Whenever you pick up a new hobby, a new job, a new role, it can be hard, and it's the same thing here. We first have to recognize what is present, discern whether it is opening us up to freedom or keeping us closed and small, and then decide for yourself. How can you go about navigating this fluctuation, this mindset, this habit? Stick with it. Do you have the power to change whatever it is that you are noticing? A body full of aches and pains might be crying out for nourishment, nutrition, a walk, a yoga class, maybe some deep rest. A mind that is scattered or cluttered might be seeking meditation, yoga nidra, again, even a walk in open awareness. A heart that feels closed off, seeking love, connection. And this isn't a practice where we are trying to change or grasp at things that are out of our control. We can accept those things that we are incapable of changing and recognize that there is opportunity to move towards freedom. And the words of Mary Oliver are coming to mind, where she asks, "What will you do with this one wild life?" Something like that. I don't have it written down. What are you going to do with this one life? Will you live in alignment with freedom and your ultimate good, your ultimate power? Stay here. Keep going. for our last few minutes of practice, you're welcome to stay with the arising, the existence, and the falling away, or you can come into some visualization and think about, imagine, use the mind's eye, whatever you want to call it, to consider a free, unbound, liberated mind. What would that mean for your life? What would that mean for the lives of others you cohabitate with, your friends, your family, your colleagues? And what would it mean for you to have a free, abundant, spacious mind?